Creating online content doesn't have to be expensive. The Sony A5100 is a highly capable budget camera with super fast autofocus, a rare flip-up screen, and Sony's super versatile APS-C sensor. The Lumix G7, on the other hand, is an all-in-one package that not only has a fully articulating touchscreen, but also shoots 4K for less than a quarter of the price of some of the competition. Which one of these wins as an awesome budget content creation camera? Let's find out. What's up everyone, I'm the Everyday Dad, and if I can figure it out, you can figure it out. Today we continue the hunt for the best budget camera for creating videos on your online content, whether it be YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, etc. On Monday we found out that the Lumix G7 is a highly capable camera that will not break the bank. Personally, it's what I used for the first 8 months of my channel. And darn it if it doesn't still impress me almost a year later. And it kind of makes me rethink my own camera systems. It's darn good. The A5100, on the other hand, is the current reigning champion of my super budget recommendations. It's very small, very light, and packs a lot of awesome features into a camera that only cost me $300. Yeah, deals can be had all around on both of these little behemoths. Behemoths? Behemoths. And if you'd like to get either of these cameras after watching, because why wouldn't you? Cameras are awesome. There will definitely be links in the description for both systems. However, let's make sure we are all on the same page and let's cover the basic specs of both cameras. Now, I do try to mention this as often as possible, but I am not a photographer, nor am I a professional videographer. I'm just a regular guy that makes home videos and YouTube videos, so the specs that matter to me might not line up for you if you do those other aspects. The A5100 is a super small camera from Mega Camera Corp Sony. It is an effective 24 megapixel camera. It has Sony's very own APS-C size CMOS sensor and can take the ever popular E-mount lenses. It can record in up to 1080p, 60 frames per second, and in a rarity for Sony cameras, has an articulating screen that not only articulates, but is touch enabled for focus. That's shocking when it comes to Sony cameras. The real strength of the Sony A5100 though is its autofocus system. It comes equipped with Sony's seriously performing autofocus system with 179 phase detection points, meaning you don't really have to worry if you are actually going to be in focus if you spend the majority of your time here, in front of the camera. The Lumix G7, on the other hand, is a little larger, but is also super small for a DSLR style mirrorless camera. It comes equipped with a 16 megapixel camera, and it runs the staple of the Panasonic line, a micro four thirds sensor, and again comes with the very versatile micro four thirds mount that can adapt darn near any lens in existence. I mean, it is super versatile. It can record in up to a very beautiful 4K 30 frames per second and comes with a fully articulating touchscreen. Something this and all Panasonic cameras do really well is it comes with an audio in jack and some really good preamps built straight into the camera. The real main strength of the G7 is it's an all-in-one package and it doesn't really need anything else to turn it into a workhorse of a camera. I mean, it by itself is almost a complete all-in-one package. Okay, we've talked enough at the cameras. Let's go do some additional tests. Whew. And welcome to the Everyday Kitchen. We can't go outside like we normally would because there's a hurricane coming and it's been raining out here for like 2 days straight now. Hooray! Thanks, nature. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna do a quick comparison of the two cameras. Now, I personally think both are fantastic. The A5100 I've been using for about a month now. It's amazing, it's an awesome all-in-one package. The G7 I used for months just starting my YouTube channel, and it really turned into a workhorse that I used all the time. But they're both fantastic in different ways. And one of the things we're gonna see right now is the autofocus. So the autofocus on the Sony is, it's way better. It is phase detection instead of contrast-based autofocus. The Lumix will, I can see right here, I am now in focus, which is awesome, but you'll probably notice some hunting in the background. I'm sure I'll zoom in on one of these points. The Sony, it just locks on, that phase detection stays on there. But a camera's not made solely on autofocus performance, despite what some angry YouTubers would say. You really gotta look at some other features. So like right now, the audio you're hearing is the Rode wireless lavalier system plugged straight into the G7 because the G7 has awesome preamps and it has an audio in jack, which the Sony doesn't have. So there currently is no perfect camera out there, but for these two budget titans, it's pretty good. And this is about as good as vlogging as we're gonna get today because hurricanes. So audio and autofocus are two really big deals when it comes to quick turnaround online content. So that's what you're really gonna get out of these two cameras. Okay, back to the studio. And we're back. Okay, so now let's do a very quick low light and let's just, let's close out the rest of the video with these two cameras. So, okay, so I've decided that both cameras are actually pretty darn good. But which one comes out on top? Dramatic pause. Well, they both do. Super cop-out mode initiated. Like I mentioned earlier, they are both awesome at what they are specifically designed to do against what you actually need them to do. Hopefully that makes more sense, you know, than I think it probably did. They're basically good at what they're designed for. The major benefits of the A5100 are super fast autofocus, flip-up screen, Sony's APS-C sensor which devours low light situations, especially for the price. The benefits of the G7 are the fully articulating touchscreen, a nice 4K 30 frames per second, wonderful preamps that you're hearing right now, and enough manual control to really get the settings dialed in quickly and efficiently. But neither camera are perfect, and there are a few things that might make you want to pick something else. The major negatives of the A5100, no audio jack, and the real potential deal breaker, depending on, how your video workflow goes, is overheating. Many of these small Sony cameras have problems with heat management. It's really down to Sony packing an awful lot of tech into those tiny small bodies, and that causes problems when the sensor generates so much heat that it can't compensate. Now, I've personally only had the overheat indicator warning turn on while leaving it on for a 30-minute clip, but I've never personally had it turn off from overheating. So if you do lots of little clips like I do, you probably won't run into this issue, but if you do lots of long continuous recording, you'll probably run into overheating problems. And when it comes to the Lumix, the only real negative is the autofocus. I mentioned this during the Monday video, but the G7 works off of a contrast-based autofocus system, so it has to hunt a little bit to find focus, and that's a real problem with making videos. You can use the very functional Panasonic app to pull focus for you. It's very nice to not have to fiddle with a camera once you have it set up. So at the end of the day, which one works out best for you really depends on what you want out of a camera. Do you want a super small autofocusing powerhouse, or do you want a compact all-in-one workhorse that you can legitimately run an entire YouTube studio with? I love both, and neither is a bad option, nor neither is actually a bad choice. They're both really great at what they do. It just depends on what I'm pointing at both cameras right now. It just depends on what you want. Thanks for watching.